Welcome to another deep dive here at Shoulders of Giants.
Great to be here.
Today, we're really getting into Bill Perkins' book, Die with Zero, getting all you can from your money and your life. It's quite thought-provoking.
It really is. Our mission today is basically to pull out the key insights, especially for you, our listener.
So the core idea, right, is about optimizing life, making sure you get the most positive experiences out of it.
Exactly. Perkins comes from this engineering analytical background, so he sees life almost like an optimization problem.
An optimization problem, how so?
Well, how do you maximize your fulfillment, your enjoyment, while minimizing waste? And the waste here is, well, wasted time and life energy.
Ah, life energy. That's a concept that jumps out right away, isn't it? This idea that money, it's just stored life energy.
Precisely. It's the hours you work, the effort you put in, converted into dollars. So spending money isn't just spending cash.
It's spending your life energy, trading it for something else. Wow, that really makes you pause and think, especially about, just casual spending.
It does. And it kind of pushes back against that traditional mindset of just save, 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 endlessly accumulate.
Right. Perkins argues that life is really the sum of your experiences.
And we should be deliberate about planning for those experiences, investing in them.
Which leads to another really interesting point, investing in experiences early. Why early?
Because of what he calls memory dividends. It's a brilliant term, actually.
Memory dividends. Tell me more.
Well, the idea is that the enjoyment you get from an experience doesn't just end when the experience itself is over. You get ongoing pleasure from remembering it.
Ah, okay. So the memory itself pays out over time.
Exactly. And, he points out that sharing these memories with others can even amplify that enjoyment. It compounds almost.
That makes a lot of sense. Then there's this concept of the fulfillment curve. What's that about?
Well, it suggests that our ability to really enjoy certain types of experiences changes over our lifetime.
How so? Like it goes down?
Often, yeah. For many activities, especially the more physical or adventurous ones, our peak ability to enjoy them might be when we're younger, healthier, have more energy.
Okay, that's a bit sobering, but crucial.
Definitely. And that really ties into the main focus for our deep dive today.
Right. We wanted to look at all these ideas through a specific lens. Yours, if you're thinking about early retirement, or maybe you're near that traditional age and just unsure, keep working. Stop.
What does Die with Zero really offer you in that situation? What are the critical things to consider?
So let's start there. That life energy concept. How does that hit differently when retirement's on the table?
Well, it becomes incredibly relevant, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Continuing to work means consciously trading more of your finite time, your remaining life energy, for more money.
And the question Perkins forces you to ask is
it worth it? What experiences are you not having because you're still working? And could those experiences actually be more valuable ultimately than the extra savings?
The opportunity cost. And that ties right into the declining utility of money idea, especially with age.
Absolutely. The book makes a strong case that your ability to enjoy many experiences, particularly those needing health and vitality, diminishes as you get older.
So for someone near retirement, this isn't some far-off, abstract idea.
Not at all. It's very real. Delaying retirement, even by a few years, might mean you actually miss the window for certain things altogether.
Like what kind of things?
Well, think about strenuous travel, backpacking through mountains, maybe really active hobbies, even just keeping up with young grandkids sometimes. Your health might limit those no matter how much money you've saved.
Oof. Yeah, that puts the decision in a different light.
And this is where the net worth peak idea comes in. It's quite insightful.
Net worth peak. Okay, what does he mean by that? Is it just when your money amount is highest?
Not exactly. It's the point where having more money starts giving you less and less additional life fulfillment. Diminishing returns kick in.
Why? Because of those health and time constraints we just talked about.
Precisely. So, if you're nearing retirement, you need to honestly ask yourself, have I reached my personal peak? Is accumulating more actually going to make my life better or just bigger numbers on a spreadsheet?
Because the risk, Perkins warns, is saving aggressively past that point and, dying with a lot of unspent potential for fulfillment.
Right. Missing out on the life those resources could have funded.
So how do you know where that point is? Or at least get a handle on it?
One tool is calculating what he calls the survival threshold.
Okay, survival threshold.
Yeah, sounds serious.
It's basically figuring out the minimum you need saved to cover your essential living costs for the rest of your estimated lifespan. It's your safety net.
Oh, okay, so it gives you a baseline, a floor.
Exactly. Once you know you've met or exceeded that threshold, it can free you up mentally.
Right.
The focus can shift from just piling up more to actually using the money for living.
It helps combat that fear of running out. It does. And avoids that scenario like Elizabeth in the book, who saved diligently her whole life but then died with a huge amount left over. A lot of missed opportunities there.
Which leads right into prioritizing experiences over things, another big theme.
Huge. Perkins argues experiences deliver more lasting happiness than material goods. And crucially, they pay those memory dividends we mentioned.
So, for the person thinking about retirement, the shift is from acquiring stuff to acquiring memories.
That's a great way to put it. Consciously investing in meaningful experiences, travel, hobbies, time with loved ones, whatever truly matters to you.
He uses that example of Jason Rufo, right? Took a backpacking trip even when it seemed financially risky.
Yeah, early in life. And the point is the massive return he got from that experience, which shaped him in ways money couldn't have.
So it's about valuing those potentially life-changing experiences. How do you plan for them, though? It feels a bit vague.
Well, he offers a practical tool for that, too.
Time buckets.
Time buckets, like buckets for different times. Sort of. You divide your remaining life into blocks, maybe 5 or 10 years each. And then you actively plan which key experiences you want to have within each specific bucket.
Ah, I see. So it forces you to think about timing.
Exactly. Especially for someone near retirement. It highlights experiences that are time-sensitive. Things you really need to do sooner rather than later, before health or age might become a barrier.
Makes sense. Like, maybe that physically demanding trek goes in the first retirement bucket, not the last one.
Precisely. It adds urgency and focus.
What about risk? Retiring early feels risky to many people.
Perkins addresses this with the idea of being bold, not foolish. We usually think of this for young people taking career risks.
But you can apply it here, too.
Absolutely. Reframe it. The risk of retiring a bit earlier might seem high financially, but what's the potential reward?
Having the health and time to actually do those things you've dreamed of. Create those memories.
Exactly. And conversely, what's the risk of delaying retirement?
The risk is permanently losing the chance for those experiences if your health declines. An irreversible loss.
So the bold move might actually be the less risky one in terms of life fulfillment.
That's a powerful reframe. He also warns about living on autopilot.
Yes, very much so. Especially autopilot of just continuing to work and save because, well, that's what you've always done.
It's the default mode for many of us after decades of working.
Right. But approaching retirement is a critical time to consciously step back, reevaluate what are your real goals now, what truly matters for this next phase. Don't just keep going in the same pattern.
He mentions John Arnold, the hedge fund guy, as an example.
Yeah, someone who kept working and accumulating wealth way, way beyond any point where it could realistically add to his personal utility or happiness. Just habit.
The habit of accumulation. Which brings us to spending it down decumulation. That seems hard for people.
It really is. Perkins notes many retirees are surprisingly slow to spend their savings.
Why is that? Fear.
Often, yeah. Fear of running out of money, longevity risk, or sometimes a strong desire to leave a large inheritance.
But if you're trying to die with zero fulfillment, you need a plan to spend down.
You absolutely do. Understanding and planning for decumulation is vital. Otherwise, you end up with that mismatch. Plenty of money, but not enough life lived.
Does he suggest ways to manage that fear?
He touches on things like annuities, which can provide guaranteed income streams to help manage the longevity risk. That security can then make people feel more comfortable spending other assets.
Okay. But what about the kids? The inheritance question always comes up.
Right. And die with zero doesn't mean stiffing your kids or charities you care about.
So it's not literally bouncing the last check.
Not necessarily. The idea is to die with zero of your optimally used resources. Perkins actually advocates giving money away earlier when it can have the most impact, and often while you're still alive to see the benefit.
Ah, so gifting during your lifetime.
Yes. For someone in or near retirement, maybe that means helping kids with a house down payment now, or funding grandkids' education when they need it. Rather than leaving it all in a will, you get to witness the joy and impact.
That makes sense. Giving when it's most useful.
Exactly.
So bringing it all together then, for you, the listener, who might be at this crossroads, die with zero isn't really a call for recklessness.
Not at all. It's a call for being deliberate, thoughtful, reevaluating what matters most and how to best use your accumulated life energy, your savings, to achieve that.
It's about asking those tough questions. What experiences truly define a fulfilling life for me? Will working longer help me get those or hinder me?
hmm Have I hit my personal net worth peak for fulfillment? Have I figured out my survival threshold so I understand the real trade-offs of continuing to work?
It really encourages a proactive stance towards these next chapters.
Definitely. Prioritize creating memories.
Mm.
Align your spending with what you genuinely value and desire to experience.
And like we said, the final decision on when to retire, that's deeply personal, obviously. So many individual
Of
factors.
course. But using these principles, these ideas from Perkins, can help you make a much more informed, more intentional choice.
A choice aimed squarely at maximizing your life satisfaction and minimizing that potential future regret of, what might have been.
So what really stands out to you as you hear this? What sorts of experiences are bubbling up as priorities? This whole framework is really an invitation, isn't it?
An invitation to really explore those questions for yourself, and start designing a future that genuinely resonates with you.